Yo, how's it going, people? It's time for another guide. And as you guys have know, back in the anniversary update, there has been note about level reset is coming back for a limited time. And so now it's time for you guys to kind of correct some of your mistakes, maybe for some of the investments that you guys have done. And so what I'm gonna have to do here is, instead of specifically showing which units to reset or like not really that useful anymore, I will tell you guys which ones are worth keeping and then continuously upgrade. And then maybe the ones that are not listed there, you could probably skill reset them. To me, my point of view is, I guess, if they're just like maybe level 4, I kind of don't think they're necessary to skill reset that much. Level 4, level 5 maybe, I think that's kind of fine if you have a bunch of units that you can reset. But anything past 5, or maybe when it's around 6, maybe you could start like thinking about resetting them. Or if they got to levels, if there's not that many that you went over level 6, then maybe you can choose to get the ones that are level 5 or level 4s. But as you guys have known, there's this skill reset thing. Some people have multiple of them from previous events. They'll probably give us like 3 skill resets, so it's not like unlimited. So you guys have to be very picky in terms of which ones to skill reset, and you probably would want to reset the ones that are high value first. So there are some units that probably maybe you have spent over up to like level 7, for example, then maybe it is kind of worth thinking about just resetting them immediately. So what I'm gonna tell you guys about is basically what I recommend my guild. And if you guys don't know, my guild is top 8 in NA. We finish Union Raid in about 2 hours. Okay, so this is basically what I recommend in my guild mates. My guild does have a lot of free-to-plays in there. Those of you that really want to be competitive in solo raid, Union Raid, co-op, these are going to be my suggestions. Try to focus on one team first. This is also what I recommend a lot of people that are go back to my streams. Focus on one team that you would be using for campaign. My highest recommendation is the bunny girls with Blanc and Noir, mainly because they can be used at a lot more ease compared to Tia and Naga. However, Tia and Naga does have higher ceiling, but they are a lot less auto-friendly for a lot of people. So what I would recommend is, if you can make a team one that is simple, something like this is what I would skill recommend. Litter, Blanc, Noir, Alice, Modernia. Modernia being the highest one. Now, I would normally recommend Modernia to be 10-10-7 for if you're using her for campaign. But otherwise, if we're just using her in terms of raid purposes, she can be just 10-10-4. If you're a beginner and you see this 10-10-4, what this means is 10 on skill 1, 10 on skill 2, and then 4 on burst. Now, in terms of basically support, these are basically the meta units. Litter, Blanc, Noir, Dorothy, and then Tia, Naga, and then Volume, and Novel, and Privity. Those are the primary supports that are very highly recommended. And then the top DPSs that are highly considered are Alice, Modernia, and then Maxwell, and then Scarlet, and Summer Anise. We kind of foresee that Red Hood is going to be the last one, so Red Hood will be up here with Maxwell. And then other DPS is Snow White or 2B. 2B being just mainly because she is very useful in terms of like survivability. And there are some bosses that target the highest HP or highest attack, and 2B will end up being kind of like the taunt for that. Now, you guys might notice that Guillotine isn't as recommended, is because she does pose a lot of risk in terms of runs, but she can be used in a lot of good lower levels in terms of Union Raid, but also in solo raid she is also still kind of meta. So there's still usage of her, it's just that she is a lot less recommended. Now, if there is someone that I didn't mention in here, typically I would recommend them to be skill resetted or kept at 444, just because the value on them is not going to be as generalized as these other top tier meta units. I'm not saying you don't need to build them or you don't have to build them. I'm just saying in terms of union raid, those are the meta units. Now in terms of building units or building teams, there is other popular requests which is the skill priority, and in that same Excel sheet you will see that there's a skill priority section up here, your suggestion skill priority. I've written down kind of what I would recommend. A lot of new players and middle tier players and even endgame players in terms of like how I would prioritize these skills. I have the general idea over here, which basically talks about just trying to make sure to build one team first and use for campaign, and then branching off from there. And then there's a section here where this is how to invest in order of skills, and then this is for the burst. Now what if your character is not written there or anything? Well, in terms of personal recommendation, I would just keep it as 444, just because these skill resources are very low right now. Now obviously the developer have mentioned that they're eventually going to increase the income for the skills, but as of right now we are starving in this situation, so it's just hard to be using them all the time, especially when suddenly there's like a sudden meta unit that comes in. And you just have to realize, without the events, it takes at least 42 days just from the simulation room alone, doing 5C each day, every day, in order to max out a single character. So it is a lot of investment, and it's better to just be smart at it, especially right now until we get more update on those skill upgrades. Now there are a lot more units obviously, and in this guide I will talk about, there are a lot more that I can talk about here. And as you will see, I've written down the different like other units and their minimal investments that I would recommend, and you can just check this guide out if you guys want to. I've also written down the overload suggestions and the cube suggestions for them, and also any other comments that I kind of talked about in terms of why the skills are like that or why the overloads are like that. So yeah, that's about it. This is all the characters that I would personally use at best, and anything that I haven't really listed here, I wouldn't really overinvest. I will constantly update this as like the meta changes, or if there's just other realization, or whenever there's like new units and everything like that. So just make sure to bookmark this, and if you guys want to check it out, and if you guys have any questions, I'm always available on stream, either on Twitch or on YouTube, so just make sure to check those out. And if you guys are not sure, we do account reviews for this one. I will probably be doing account reviews for this once the patch comes out and the skill resets are available. We'll probably have one of these days to do account reviews, since some people are just not sure who to actually skill reset. And some people also ask which overload gears should they prioritize on re-rolling. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time.